At E3 2014, Nintendo announced Mario Maker for the Wii U. The concept was intriguing, and it was certainly a change from all the new Super Mario Bros. Games. However, there weren't too many features shown, and the interface looked a little rough to me. I figured I would get it if it was priced below $60, otherwise it didn't appeal enough to me. Later on, some more footage was showcased, but I still wasn't entirely convinced. 1 year after the initial announcement, the game was revealed as the last challenge in the revived Nintendo World Championships, now entitled Super Mario Maker. There, tons of zany concoctions were in place, like a stiletto with mechanics of the Goomba shoe inside of a clown car, a blooper with a chain of small bloopers behind it riding on top of two Hammer Bros which are riding on top of a bomb, or even the infamous Bowser stack. After that, I was totally sold. More trailers came out following the event, which only helped to build my excitement. Usually, I avoid buying games day one, but this time I was so caught up in the hype that I couldn't help myself. Of course, one of the primary selling points of Super Mario Maker is that you can create your own levels, but the tools to make these levels aren't immediately available. Originally, you would have had to work with the assets you had unlocked for 5 minutes, then wait a day for the next set of materials to be delivered, but surprisingly enough, Nintendo listened to the negative reception to this factor and made it so you have to use a fixed amount of objects, and then the next set is available right away. Though the first method of gaining properties wouldn't have actually been too much of a nuisance since one could just change the clock. I think it would have been better to simply have everything unlocked right from the start. Once you have your complete loadout, the level editor is very fluid to use. You can pick from 4 unique age themes: Super Mario Bros., Mario 3, Mario World, and New Super Mario Bros. After that, you can pick from 6 unique environment themes: Grassland, Underground, Underwater, Ghost House, Airship, and Castle. There are slight differences in each one, and I really like the variety and flair they can add to a level. Adding objects is quite easy, the editor is grid-based, and everything takes up a certain amount of spaces. Though the length of a stage can be extended and sub-areas can be added, it is confined to a finite number of grid spaces. There's an erasing tool, a copying tool, and a multi-select tool. These all have convenient hotkeys associated with them. For some strange reason, the multi-select tool is limited to 20 by 13 spaces, and on top of that, it can't carry a group of objects into a different sub-area. I'll be the first to say that this has proven to be a massive hindrance on multiple occasions. A plethora of objects to utilize are right there in the menu, including bullet bills, fire bars, skull rafts, lakitus, grinders, conveyor belts, and more. Though there's a wide selection, it's not unlimited. You won't be seeing any spine coasters or penguin suits. In particular, checkpoints feel quite missing. Levels can get pretty lengthy despite the grid cap. It would be nice not to redo the whole thing every time you make a mistake. It's possible that these items are simply waiting to be released via DLC, as this is the age of gaming that we live in. Many objects can be stacked in or on top of each other, like the aforementioned outrageous enemy stack. In addition, applying one object to another will often create an effect. For instance, you could drag a mushroom into Bowser to create a gargantuan version of him. I certainly had a blast testing out all the wacky arrangements in my first few hours of the game. In fact, I can say that I've had a pretty good time with the level editor overall. You can play the levels others have created in Course World. Before playing, you can see a ratio of failed attempts to successful attempts, which is a good objective way to gauge a level's difficulty. Like any platform with user-generated content, the quality has a very broad range. There are excruciatingly hard levels, phenomenally creative levels, downright lazy levels, and simply fun levels. It can be a pain to find well-made stages sometimes, as there's a lot of creations that are quite the opposite thrown in the mix. However, there's undoubtedly a lot of great content out there. I've seen replications of areas from other games, albeit loose replications. I've seen creations where a story is told without words throughout the level. I've seen levels that have expertly placed obstacles and managed to strike a perfect balance between challenge and fun, despite the lack of checkpoints. All you need to do is find these courses in-game, or look elsewhere on the internet for it. Twitter's been a good place for me so far. In order to play courses you find outside of the game, you have to enter a 16-digit code. This feels needlessly convoluted. I suppose that's just Nintendo for you. I feel that stars could have been executed better. For one, if you leave a comment on a level, you'll automatically leave a star on that level. I understand that this is to encourage positive comments. Constructive criticism is important for people to grow, however. Leaving a comment telling about a part of the level that could have been better will leave a star with it, and that can give the wrong impression. I've pretty much stopped leaving comments anyhow. Furthermore, you need to achieve a certain amount of stars to gain the ability to upload more levels. This might have seemed like a good idea on paper. It seemingly encourages you to spend time and thought on your creations. In practice, however, it makes it so people will hastily upload things that fit into a category that people like for one reason or another, like Auto Mario or Amiibo costume closets. Plus, it makes it so users who already have an online reputation can easily upload hordes of levels. In 100 Mario Challenge, you go through, depending on the difficulty setting, 8 or 16 randomly selected courses from the community, and you have 100 lives to make it through. I don't really care about alternate costumes. Moreover, lackluster levels can easily be run into. For these reasons, I don't really care for this mode. Like 100 Mario Challenge, 10 Mario Challenge isn't my favorite pastime. You go through 8 levels that are, like in 100 Mario Challenge, randomized. The difference here is that the levels are pre-made by Nintendo. None of them are outstandingly well designed. There aren't any cool or original concepts here either. A few of them dip below the mediocre quality sometimes present in Course World. The control scheme used is alike to all of the games it represents. As such, running and grabbing are assigned to the same button. This is so archaic, I really wish it would be changed. There are plenty of quirks in Super Mario Maker. When you boot up the game, a cute animation is presented, different for each day. Clicking on letters in the title screen will result in a whimsical effect, similar to Mario Paint. In the editor, upon adding objects on the grid, an auto-tuned voice will say the name of the object to you. While the eraser is in effect, it bounces up and down perpetually. I'm honestly neutral to these quirks. They fit together stylistically and aren't intrusive at all. It probably wasn't the wisest decision to buy Super Mario Maker the day it came out. However, I think it's been worth it so far. There are existing level editors like Lunar Magic, but I'm not very familiar with them. The game will have replayability until it's inevitably shut down. The community is still young, and it's bound to change more along the line. I'll be there, playing and creating levels until the day the game dies.